Welcome, viewers. It's brain-based coaching time again. And this time we have one of our very, enthusiastic and participant from one of our virtual batches, Priyanka Kapur. She works with one of the best-known American consulting companies in the pharma space. So welcome, Priyanka, to this brief chat.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for having me, Somin.
You're most welcome. Priyanka, I'm just going to ask you a couple of simple questions, as it comes, and want to sort of understand your views and your thoughts.
Sure.
So let's sort of dig in and get to understand as to why did you pick up coaching as a skill that you wanted to develop?
Yeah, I think a lot of answers really pour into my mind, but one that I go back to is after reaching a particular time and really reaching a particular tenure in an organization, or at least reaching a particular level, right? You start questioning yourself in terms of whether you're headed in the right direction. Coaching happened to me by accident, and when I probably attended some of the talks from an ex-coach or a mentor of mine, I realized that was so much more to learn. And I soon realized that coaching is more about being self-aware, right? And sometimes we are lost in the rush of life and we are driving business numbers, we are climbing up the hierarchy, right? But we still end up not knowing much about ourselves, not knowing about the purpose we are born to really unleash. And I think coaching precisely does that for you. It helps you really become more self-aware as an individual. And it helps you travel that distance, I feel, Somin, between knowing and doing by just being, I think. So I think that's what it does for you. And that's why that was one of the primary reasons why I decided that coaching is the way forward for me. Also, I think it's about impacting other people's life. I think one of the primary purposes that I hold is really at a very, intrinsic level, working with people to change their lives or help them transform their lives for the better, helping them feel more fulfilled and happier as they really journey within their own organizations. So that was one of the reasons as well why coaching is something that always interested me.
Very powerful reasons, I must say, and the way you put it, it's about being. And of course, that explains one of the greatest competencies that ICF keeps talking about, coaching presence, right? I mean, something that takes you years of practice to actually be at that coaching. So wonderful to hear Absolutely. That. But why neuroscience-based coaching? Why brain-based coaching?
Yeah, and that's a wonderful question as well, right? And I think we spoke about this, but let me tell you, and I feel very passionately about neuroscience in general. I'm a very curious individual, and when coaching began for me, right, everybody said, hey, do this is the right way of doing, or we should not ask why to our coachee while in a coaching conversation, or we should coach with equity, right? And there has to be the coach and coachee have to be at the same platform while the coaching engagement is being delivered. But nobody actually told me how it happens. Nobody actually told me, what really happens that the behavior of the person changes, what goes on within the mind of that individual, right? And I think neuroscience really helped me unlock that. It helped me find my own whys to coaching, right? And for example, things like, and I think I go back to David Rock, right? Things like simple things he says, like, for example, that every person is, capable of solutioning their own dilemma. And nobody's looking at the coach to step forward and give a solution, but it's just that sometimes the wiring in the brain is entangled and you just need a thinking partner to walk along with you, ask you the right questions to really unleash the coachee's potential, right? So it helped me understand why you should not be asking why to the coachee, and going back in the past and really how do you move forward with the coachee as you journey with them, right? How things have to be more focused on the potential of the coachee and not the problem itself, right? How the coach has to move the attention towards the potential. So I think all these are explained very well or got discussed brilliantly well while I was in these amazing discussions, either through a one-on-one interaction or through the mentoring sessions that I had. And that really works for me. I'm a kinesthetic individual. I learn by doing, right? And that really, really helped me, I think, improve myself as a coach.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just picking up something as you were speaking, something just sort of, I got an insight. As coaches, we want to be useful, not helpful.
Yep.
Think about it.
Yeah,
Okay,
very important.
And you so nicely put it that, neuroscience helped you sort of put the answers to the why. Because when we know why we do what we do, it's much easier for us to then do it. Great, that's nice. Coming to my next question, I'm very intrigued to understand, now that you've gone through this pretty long journey, and this is a very long, intense program, and I congratulate you guys for putting all the tenacity to do that. How have things changed since for you, professionally, personally?
As I said, it brings in a lot of self-awareness. Simple things like, let me give you an example, Somen. Simple things like, I have a kid. His name is Kapur. He's 5 years old, right? And he's a very naughty kid and a very curious one as well. I think it helped me understand that as a mother, as a parent, it's so important to create that safe space for your kid to operate these days, right? And there's this beautiful model called SCARF. So I think it's beautifully explained by David Rock, as he speaks very passionately about it as well, right? So I think it's a very practical model. If you actually deep dive, understand where he's coming from, and if you implement the learnings from SCARF at home as well. I think I did implement, a lot of things basis the situation with Kabir, right? And I realized that it really created a very open space for him to be as well, right? My approach changed as a mother. Earlier, I was more tell-oriented. Now I've become more ask-oriented, right? I give him a lot of space to be. The judgments are really kept aside while he's working with me or drawing with me or learning something with me. And I see that change in him also as a kid, right? He's picking up the right things. He's asking me the right questions. He feels that his ideas are valued now. And I think in the process, he enjoys the entire exercise of either learning or exercise of painting and drawing with me even more. So I think it really depends upon how you draw parallels from this learning, and you can actually apply it beautifully both to your personal and professional life.
And do you see this change, this transformation also sort of playing up in your professional environment?
Absolutely. So I think we are a bunch of very competent coaches within the organization that I work at. I think it has helped us think about coaching very differently. Earlier, it was more of people walking in and we trying to coach them. Now it's about us messaging to them also that, hey, it's completely demand and need based. And it's about the coach's agenda, not really about the coach's agenda. And really the kind of experience that we are giving to our coaches within the organization has also changed because of that, right? We are also handling different kinds of coaching conversations. I think earlier they were focused on a very few topics. Now we have, I think broadened that horizon in terms of be it mindset coaching, habit coaching, or coaching on purpose. I think there are a lot of young kids walking up to me and talking about what is my purpose in life and what am I supposed to do, while I'm on this earth, which is very amazing to see at such a young age. There's a lot of leadership coaching happening. I think in these times of the pandemic, right? There's a lot of emphasis on wellness coaching as well. So I think the gamut of offerings that we have under coaching have widened for sure. We approach them pretty differently. And I think the coachee or the other end is also much more satisfied and happier with the way they are really solutioning and looking at things, right? So I think, yes, definitely. To answer your question, yes, I think things have changed professionally as well.
That's exciting. And I was kind of hearing, as you were discussing about the different kind of coaching, some of those coaching toolkits in your unit 3 kind of surfaced in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm sure they must be very, very useful.
Absolutely.
Super, super. So just a couple of quick questions. One is around, a lot of people, even today in India, even though now virtual, interactions and engagements have become the norm, still a lot of people believe that, such long journeys, which are completely virtual, would it be possible? Will it be engaging enough? So now that you've gone through one, I just wanted to understand from you, did you find it engaging, and what are your thoughts on that?
To answer your question, to the point, yes, I think it was very, very engaging, and for a couple of reasons. For a person like me, I think where time is really scarce, the virtual way of learning really made it very, very easy for me, right? I could take these meetings and these lessons or sessions, interactive ones, from any place, right? And really make time on my calendar. I didn't have to travel anywhere. So for an individual like me, it saved a lot of time. And also, I think the benefit people don't realize with these virtual sessions is that you are present in the moment, right? You're not that distracted. While you're in a session, you might be distracted. There are other participants you're looking at. But while you're on a virtual session, you're just looking at the screen and you're just looking at what other people have to share, and your thought process also, is moving along with them. So I think it's beautiful. I think I would highly recommend for people to really try first what works out for them. For me, it definitely worked out. And most importantly, I think what NLI did is made this very interactive. And this is something that I tell a lot of people pursuing coaching from different organizations. I do share my experience, and this is something I'd like to share here as well. I think the kind of interaction that was possible, that we had participants which were, coming from different walks of life, with different years of experience. So they all brought in their perspective. Besides that, I think the facilitators were really good to deep dive into the concept. They were very patient, and they brought in real examples. And for me, that's very important, because I'm gonna be one person who's going to be asking real dilemmas and real situations, and see how coaching really works in those waters for me. And also, I think the exposure that mentoring gave to us, they were amazingly conducted sessions, and I think it brought in a lot of in exposure to the Indian markets in coaching. But along with that, it also brought in or opened us to the international markets and what's happening there when it comes to coaching. So I think yes, I think they were brilliantly conducted, and I would definitely recommend folks to go ahead. And I wouldn't be surprised if after the pandemic also, this is the new norm forward, right, when it comes to learning.
Thank you so much. And I'm so glad that it worked out for every one of our participants. And thank you for that reconfirmation. To end this conversation, just wanted to understand from you, now that you are a brain-based certified coach and with fair amount of experience under your belt, and you are in the space of coaching, so that makes it even more interesting. What next?
I'm going to continue on this journey, Somin. I think it's very interesting for me to keep exploring myself and, really widening my expertise when it comes to coaching. I'm going to journey with ICF and become a master coach is the vision that I have for myself. I have started speaking a lot about coaching and how it's very different from what we were doing earlier on within the organization as well. So I'm going to stay on that path, and we are trying to set up a center of excellence. I'm an active representative. We have a global lead, but I'm working along with her, and there are some great projects around coaching that we are going to pursue in the short and the long run. And we are going to approach coaching very, very differently, I think, at all levels of the organization. I also plan to really take out the time and share what I have gained through NLI and my subsequent sessions or courses that I undertake, and really share it with. I think there's definitely a need of more awareness in the Indian markets when it comes to coaching, and I think the awareness has gone up, but I think it still needs efforts from people like you and me to really go out there and speak more about coaching. So I think I'm gonna pursue that line as well. So these are some thoughts on my mind, still in very nascent stages, but I'm gonna be at it for sure.
Oh, isn't that so exciting? And I'm actually excited by your own vision. So I
Absolutely.
wish you
It's
all
very
the best,
exciting.
because MCC is is the epitome of coaching, and I really, really wish you from the bottom of my heart that you actually reach your vision and your destination. So thank you very much, Priyanka, for this spending your time with us in this very brief chat, and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's always wonderful speaking to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.